Bon Appetit says this is the best biryani in New York. Let's see if this is true. If you do happen to enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like and a share. And now, let's get started.
This is Chintan Kiran Pandya, the chef owner at Dhamaka of Unapologetic Foods in New York City. And today we are at Dhamaka Kitchen trying to make the perfect version of biryani that we believe it is.
Ooh, this sounds like it's going to be a good video. And it's in English too.
I'm based out of New York City. We have a bunch of Indian restaurants. Every restaurant focuses on different part of India.
He has one restaurant that's won the James Beard Award and another that has a Michelin star. I may have to go when I visit New York because that's not easy to get. Now, if anyone's wondering what the James Beard Award is, this is from the James Beard Foundation. So it's not exactly the same thing as Michelin. Michelin, they actually send people out to the restaurants incognito to test the cooking, the cuisine, and everything about the place.
And one of the cooking process in finalizing the biryani is called the dum cooking. This means the cooking in its own steam. Biryani is basically a dish where you have a protein, chicken, goat, lamb, you can have beef, and then you have rice. So it's a layer of these things mixed together and you have it. My mouth is watering right now, actually.
Now for everyone watching, let me know down below on how much you like biryani. Is your mouth watering too, just waiting to see what this looks like?
So I think the first and foremost process that we want to start with is frying the onions. This is the fried onion, which goes more like a layered thing. It's a garnish kind of a thing. In a subcontinent cooking, it's always red onions. And it's got a very stronger smell. It's got a very stronger taste than a white onion. It needs to be around this thin.
If anyone hasn't noticed, the chef is cutting the onion lengthways. This is more of the European style, the Western style that we cut onions lengthways along the grain, not across the grain.
It fries at 325, it will fry evenly on. If it's thicker, it will get a golden brown color on the outside, but the inside would still be a little raw. To get the even frying, we need to cut it thin. You have to stand there and see how it fries, and once it's golden brown, you take it out.
What they're making is basically crispy onions. In London, I had the same thing on garnish. I had to make a lot of these too. I normally had to make them at like 6:30, 7 in the morning. I had like 20 kilos of onions, you know, a lot of onions. The easiest way to do this though in the fryer was to start with the fryer was cold, to put everything in the baskets, and then to raise the temperature slowly, and this would draw out the rest of the moisture. And then once they turn a nice golden brown color, you have to take them out quickly, put them onto a flat sheet tray with a little bit of paper, and just spread them out. It soaks up all the oil so they won't get nice and crispy.
That is Chef Vijay. He works with us. His passion in life is to cook the best possible biryani in this world. Not better than me. We are looking for this crispiness.
Are there like biryani food competitions, at least in India? Because I know that there are food competitions everywhere. I mean, you have food competitions for everything, even pâté en croûte in France, in Lyon.
Little golden brown color, not too dark, not too light. But if you see this one, it's totally done. So we are just going to chop up a little of these tomatoes. This is for the curry that we are cooking. So this is the base of the chicken biryani. To get a little bit of sourness and also for the liquid, we need some diced onions.
Well, this is bringing back memories. In a French kitchen, you have to peel almost everything, the skin off of everything. So if this was a French kitchen, that tomato right now would be blanched and he would be peeling the skin off before adding it. Thinking about it, I even had to peel grapes in London. Not fun.
I prefer my biryani to be a little bit spicy, so I add a little bit more slivers of green chilies into it. So I'm slicing it longer like this because with this, somebody who doesn't want it can just take it off the thing, and I think this imparts a better flavor in the biryani than the, the round ones. So we have everything prepped over here nearly for our biryani. We need to do a very important step now, which is wash our rice and soak it, and by that time we start doing other things over here. So what Vijay is doing here, Chef Vijay is doing over here is he has taken up the rice. We are going to wash the rice and then soak the rice before we cook it for the biryani. We are using a basmati rice today, and it's like an old basmati rice. It's 10 to 12 years old. The older it is, the more expensive it is, and the better flavor and texture it will have.
This is exactly what Joshua did with his biryani. He used like aged basmati rice. It's not always easy to get, at least in my area, it's not readily available. Sometimes you have to go on a little Easter egg hunt to try to find it.
The basmati rice is a longer grain rice, and it's not very starchy. This is the starch which is coming out, which we want to take it off. From the farm, the rice comes, it's got a lot of husk and everything into it. There might be some impurities, so you wash it up and soak it. What also happens with the soaking is, it also helps with the cooking. I think basmati rice is has a beautiful flavor. It absorbs a lot of flavor from any of the accompaniment you'll have with it.
The same thing with like making a paella. The whole idea of the paella is for the rice to absorb all the flavors of the sofrito and all the other ingredients when you're cooking.
So this is going to sit for 30 minutes. We'll put the water for boiling on the side. By that time, we'll start cooking our chicken. We actually don't have the word curry in our cuisine actually. It's a base of the biryani, something which has got a little liquid to it. So we are going to make our chicken, which is basically the base of it. It's a chicken curry. What we are doing is adding some ghee into it. Ghee is the clarified butter, and it is an integral part of this recipe actually.
In the simplest of terms, is clarified butter, although some will say that it's clarified butter that is taken an extra step to cook a little longer, so it may have more of like a nutty flavor to it. Long story short, ghee has a higher cooking temperature, or smoking point I should say, than normal unsalted butter. With normal unsalted butter, you still have a lot of the impurities, especially like water, in it, so it has a much lower smoking point, and it's easy for it to brown. So if you're going to be frying at higher temperatures or sauteing, it's a better idea to use ghee or oil.
110% tastes far more better than butter any day. We're going to add some spices over here. So this is a bay leaf, black cardamom. That's a green cardamom. And then we have the mace. This is a nutmeg. And mace is something that covers the nutmeg.
Mace is one of those ingredients that you don't see used a lot anymore in Western cuisine. It used to be used a lot in much older recipes. If you're thinking more like medieval recipes, they used a lot of spices and ingredients that we don't typically use today.
And then we have some cloves over here. We have our diced onions over here. I'm going to add it inside it. The onions are cut very finely, and we want to cook it as long as possible. If we don't keep on stirring it, it will stick to the bottom and it will burn it. You see how the color is changing?
Basically what he's going to be doing is caramelizing the onions. This imparts a lot of flavor. Also, when you start sauteing a lot of these spices, it helps to release a lot of the flavors that they have. So this also adds to the finished product with the aroma and flavor.
That's a ginger garlic paste. So it's 50% ginger, 50% garlic. So as soon as I add the ginger garlic paste into it, that's what you'll start, getting the aromas of. So I've added some turmeric powder. I'm adding some chili powder into it. So now I added in the tomatoes inside it. So we are now going to cook it. The unique property of the chili powder is that this one is very, I would say, neutrally spiced, but gives a very good deep red color to the dish.
I wonder what he was using. Maybe Kashmiri chilies. Those are very common in Indian cuisine. They have a very bright red color, although depending on which ones you get, sometimes they can be a little spicy as well. If you don't want spice, the best option to use is going to be sweet paprika. The reason why is because sweet paprika doesn't have much spice to it. And if you're cooking this for a group of people and you don't know their spice tolerance, best to make it mild to not spicy at all, because a lot of people can't take spice.
So now you see the tomato is getting cooked. It's getting a little mashy. This is what we are looking for. This is a whole chicken, but you can use chicken whole legs cut on the bone with that. A lot of flavor in a meat is inside the bone. We traditionally cooked everything on the bone because I think it imparts a better flavor to it, stronger taste to it actually. So that's why I prefer doing everything on the bone.
A lot of chefs say the same thing, that they prefer cooking on the bone than cooking without the bone. Also, depending on what type of meat that you're cooking, also what type of bones, you can add extra collagen and even the marrow from the bones to what you're cooking. But if you're going to be making some demi-glace with some veal bones, you have knuckles, you have spine, you have all these good parts, they will add a lot of gelatin to that dish or to the sauce, and you'll notice it'll be a nice thick sauce.
So that's some whisk yogurt. So what yogurt will do is it will add the body to this dish and get everything together. So all your spices, onion, tomatoes, powdered things, everything together. What we prefer is a Greek yogurt, full fat Greek yogurt, salt.
Interesting.
The most important ingredient.
What did he say? Salt is the most important ingredient. Something I say all the time. It's even more important than MSG. It is.
So the chicken is out of our way. It's gonna get cooked over here. I have it on the slow fire. We'll keep an eye on it, so it's okay. What we have over here is we are boiling the water, and it's just a regular New York tap water. There's no type of water.
I guess that's the secret ingredient to New York pizza, isn't it? The New York tap water. What's in the New York tap water? Because depending on where you live, there's not always good things in the tap water. I remember when I used to live in Friday Harbor, Washington, Now, the island had old pipes. Some of these old pipes turned out to have asbestos. And I won't go into details because then this video may get flagged or whatnot, but long story short, you have to be very careful what is in your tap water.
Because this video is about how you can do it at home, I always say that you have to multi-skill yourself. You cannot do one step at a time. So what you do is you start off with this, you can just leave it on its own. It's getting cooked over there on a slow heat. Let it cook. You don't have to disturb it or anything. I have the water over here. I'm just gonna add some salt to it.
Oh, just a little bit of salt, yeah? Just a pinch. Normally when we're cooking pasta or even with making rice, the saying in the kitchen is to make the water as salty as the sea. So if you've ever had salt water, you know how salty it can be. Funny fact, the Mediterranean is actually a little saltier than the Atlantic, which also means that you're a little more buoyant as well.
And then we add some ghee. I'm adding some cumin, the mace, what we saw before. We have some cinnamon sticks, dried bay leaf, some cloves, some green cardamom, and we'll just boil it. So this becomes like a flavorful stock, and that's where we'll boil our rice in now. Obviously, so we have the soaked rice. I've drained the water out. Just gonna add the rice inside this water now.
Now this is the proper way on cooking basmati rice. You wanna bring the water up to a boil first, and then time when you add the rice to the water instead of just putting everything in at once and then bringing it up to the boil. You can still do it that way, but this is an easier way on checking the time.
So it's infused with a lot of flavors. So when you boil the rice inside it, obviously water is gonna expand the grain and also the flavor goes inside the rice. If you ask me how much time it takes cook, it's not like flipping a burger where it will be 2 minutes, flip the burger and it's cooked. No, every rice is different. Every batch of rice will come out different. So I always say there's no specific time. You need to know, like, we'll show you what it's done or not done.
He's 100% right about this. The basmati that I get from the store, that type of basmati takes around 12 minutes for me to make it. The type that you get will be completely different than the type that I have. It is a very strange thing, but one of my friends at work, he had a formula down on how to make the perfect basmati rice. Well, one day, he decided to use a different brand of basmati because it was a little cheaper, and he tested his little, method on making it, and it was off. It didn't cook the same.
So I'm trying to put the grain over here, and then you just do it this. You see there's a little bite left to it. This is what we are looking for. We needed 70 to 75, or between 70 to 80% cooked, and rest 20% will be cooking inside that pot when we put it inside the oven.
Look, colander. Good thing Uncle Roger's not watching this.
Hiya! So we have our rice ready over here, we have the chicken ready, but yes, one still component is still left, which is the jhol. So we call it a jhol. Basically means a liquid. So it's equal amount of butter and cream, some saffron inside it. This is to layer up the biryani and it will give the different color to the rice and also a lot of flavor to the rice. As I said, it's a very celebratory dish, and one of the key components of this dish is saffron. And you'll see how the rice will be little golden when it's cooked with the saffron inside it. So that's the reason for it. Just for the perspective of people who don't know, saffron is more expensive than gold.
And there's a lot of saffron on the black market. So if you see somebody selling saffron for less than $100-something per ounce, chances are it may not be saffron. Saffron is very labor intensive. So people, well, maybe they use machines now, but basically they have to pick the little threads out of the flowers. And you don't get many of these little threads out of the flowers, but it's very labor intensive. If you're eating counterfeit saffron, you could be eating plastic, you could be eating coconut hair, you could be eating horsehair, you could be eating anything.
I have seen a lot of people, they just throw saffron on a dish. It doesn't do anything to that dish. You need to know how to integrate the saffron within your dish. So if you see, basically jhol was only cream and butter, but now when you added the saffron, it's got that color, which is a saffron color. So saffron on its own will never have a flavor, but you have to use a medium of fat or dairy or water to get that flavor inside it.
A little bit of saffron will go a very long way, literally like a little pinch. It's very typical to use saffron in paella. So when you're making a paella like for 2 or 3 or even 4 people, you need just a little bit, just a little.
All the components of this dish are ready. So we have our rice ready over here. We have the chicken curry ready over here. We have the jhol ready over here. So now the final and the finale of it is we are going to build up the biryani. The magic starts. So guys, now the final part of building up the dish. We have this beautiful clay pot, which we're gonna build up the entire dish with the layers in there. Goes on top of it, we'll seal it up with a dough and cook it inside the oven. The good biryani will always be cooked in a clay pot, and then you can just scrape it around and you'll see how it comes out. It doesn't stick to it. If you don't have a clay pot, something that you can find in the market very easily is a Dutch oven. This one has actually given me a better result than any other pot that I've tried in the market.
I love his honesty. Me personally, I use a Dutch oven every single night when I cook. The only issue with Dutch ovens is they can be very expensive and they can also be quite heavy. So if you're going to be cooking on like an induction cooktop, like what I have, you have to be very careful not to slam it down or to drop it because you can break the glass top.
So this is the jhol, as we spoke about. So you need a certain amount of moisture on the bottom because if I put the rice directly on the bottom, it's going to heat up and there are chances it might start sticking to it. So this basically is a layer of fat which heats up and it provides that moisture to the dish.
This is a very, very good little pro tip. As a matter of fact, what we saw when Joshua was making his biryani, he didn't add this to the bottom of his pot. He didn't even cook the chicken fully, so he cooked it for a very long time. And everything on the bottom of the pot burnt. It was sticking to the bottom.
Now we are going to add some rice to it. I'm going to add some golden fried onions over here now. It's not going to remain crisp by the time it gets cooked finally, but it will impart a lot of flavor. We'll eat it together and you'll understand why. So now I'm going to add some ginger juliens over here, very finely cut fresh ginger juliens. And now we are going to add the slit green chilies over here. I'm adding some fresh cilantro over here. Some mint.
Mint, Uncle Roger's kryptonite, especially after watching the previous video with Jamie.
And if you've got any mint or coriander around,
Mint and coriander for Korean fried rice? I'm going to eat so many Korean dish. Not a single dish have mint on there.
If you haven't seen Jamie making his barbecued egg fried rice, you need to see it.
Now we are going to add the chicken. Chicken is cooked. Yes, it's fully cooked. I'm just arranging the pieces over here.
Fully cooking it actually speeds up the cooking time. So basically you don't have to finish this in the oven.
So it creates a one whole layer of the chicken over here.
This is looking
So I'm going to add little jhol again to it. I'm going to take some of the gravy from here and I'm going to put it over it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to visit this place when I go to New York. This looks delicious.
Again, some fried onion. You have some ginger juliens,
Oh my,
slit green
all
chilies,
that flavor.
some mint over here, some cilantro.
My
Just gonna add a little
goodness.
bit more of gravy
Just
over
layer
here.
of layer of flavors. Ooh.
Just gonna top it off with a little more rice on top.
This.
And that's a spoon of the jhol. A lot of the food that is cooked in our culture is meant for communal dining. So we expect this for like, if I'm hungry, I might eat it on my own, the entire thing, but ideally it's for 4 people. So please excuse me on my eating habits. So that's a regular dough.
I honestly think that if I ordered this, I would probably eat this by myself as well. At least all the chicken and the majority of the rice. It looks like this is gonna taste fantastic.
I'm gonna line it up over here. So it's a dough which is basically some flour, water, and a little oil and salt. We have this dough now evenly around it. I'm gonna seal it up. So our pot is ready now. It will start throwing out steam. And the steam starts going on top with all the layers inside it, all the flavors in there. It starts going up, but it cannot escape outside, so it keeps on going inside, and that keeps on revolving. And what will happen is that will actually infuse all the flavors together.
This was the old way of keeping all the flavors in. Today we have other options, not just pressure cookers. We can also cook sous vide, which is the same idea, is to keep all the flavors inside the bag. So you cook in the bag in a vacuum, and it really enhances the flavors. If you haven't tried sous vide or even this, it works.
This is called the dum cooking. But if I don't put the dough around it, 100% chances that the steam will start escaping. And it will not taste, the same dish will taste different.
True.
So we have it inside the oven. It's gonna cook for 20-25 minutes. I'm very hungry right now. They haven't fed me anything while doing this. So I'm gonna eat the entire biryani on my own.
Okay, that I don't believe, because normally when you work in a kitchen, you're always picking at something to snack on. And normally if you made a lot of like crispy onions, these I always had to make extra, and I had to hide them as well, because every single time someone passed by while the tray was drying, I'd have less onions. So I had to get smart and put them in places where people couldn't reach as they passed by.
So it's been close to 25 minutes now. Let's look at the crust. I think we are ready. The crust looks insane. It looks amazing. The rice has soaked up the jol, the curry and everything. You're gonna mix it up and it will all come together soon and within few minutes.
Oh,
I actually enjoy eating most of the Indian food with my hands.
that looks delicious. And you know the good thing is that since everything was pre-cooked, except for the rice fully, he didn't burn it. If you want to follow a good recipe, I highly suggest this guy. It looks delicious.
That's how I've been brought up. That's culturally what we do. If you see, everything is mixed together. Everything is, look at the saffron, the way it's within the rice and everything. The way I love to do it is, I take up a chunk of the meat out of the bone. I have my meat, and then I'll take a little bit of rice with all the things inside it, onion, mint, cilantro, green chili, and
I love this. So he's using his fingers to eat while the other chef is using a spoon. The other thing I'd like to know is that how can they be doing this behind the line in the kitchen? Because you have to be very careful with the health department, especially depending on where you are. Because I'm sure a few of the people from the health department watch TV, no? And they may watch your video and you're eating behind the line. I remember one who used to come to our restaurant in Friday Harbor on a Sunday during Sunday brunch when we had like 200 people in the restaurant. You know, it was balls to the walls, we were running, and the lady showed up at our back door, said, "Food inspection right now." And my dad was like, no, piss off. You come back when we're not busy.
the fun part is you can taste each and every ingredient on its own. But when you do this, it's pure magic, trust me. I don't think so there's a way you can explain these things, that how they come together, why they come together or something. It just happens.
That looks good.
Very simple dish, just follow the rules. Just do it a very simple way and it will come out phenomenal. Vijay, what do you think about the biryani, man?
I think it's super good. Yeah.
Thank you.
I could have done better than him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm learning from him.
I'm sure this year he'll get a good bonus.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
I mean, otherwise, if you said that it was horrible and you didn't make a very good biryani, I don't think you'd have a job. The title of the video was The Best Biryani in New York City. And I honestly think that this is one of the best in New York. It is possible there are others, but this looked delicious, absolutely delicious. And what I loved about this recipe, it was that not only did he explain such an easy method on making it, but it was so simple the way that he decided to make it. Very logical process of making as well. Instead of going all over the place, not working organized, which you see a lot of the videos that we review. People are not very organized in the kitchen. Obviously, he's a professional chef. This makes a big difference. And this dish, with all the flavors, with all the spices, all the aromas that it has, it looks phenomenal. When I visit New York, and I hope to next year, I have to visit this place. And you know what? I think I need to take Brian and Frenchie with me. All of us need to go over to that place or this place and taste the biryani. Please be sure to check out this next video here, and I'll see you guys again soon. Until then, take care, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.